What is going on, guys? DBG here, and in this video we are going to be looking at all of the cards that you can buy, and we are going to be talking about what the 10 best cards are, or the 5 best cards are, sorry, and then obviously an honorable mention for each position. Obviously there are position locks. We are just going to be looking at primary positions, and again it is only going to be cards that either you can buy in the auction house or you can lock in for cards in the auction house. So we're not going to be taking into account tokens. We are not going to be taking into account reward cards. We are not going to be taking into account also the Dame Lillard card, because I do believe 2,000 cards is a little bit too much. It's a little bit different than saying locking in 10 cards for a Wilt Chamberlain. It's a little bit different in my opinion to that. But anyway, yeah, so we are going to look at the point guard position first. So the number one point guard you can buy in the market, I think there is an obvious one. There's an obvious one, is Derrick Rose. But then when you're looking at number 2, honestly, like, there is, like, you could argue Magic. You could argue, if you're next gen, you can definitely argue Isaiah. But for me anyway, a badged up Walt is number 2. I like Walt. Also, you can argue Stockton as well, but I don't like Stockton at all on next gen. But Rose and Walt, I think for me anyway, belong as 1 and 2. So, D Rose, obviously everyone knows how good this card is. Like, Hall of Fame Showtime, and if you rely on Showtime, he is incredible. Like, he is incredible. He's got that 97 speed. He's got the dunks. Like, if you're looking at SIGs and animations, he's got a bunch of Showtime dunk badges. A great behind the back on current gen. I'm not a fan of Rose on next gen, I will say that. I'm not the biggest fan of this guy on next gen. Got D Rose release, which I'm kind of iffy on, but he's still got a great driving dunk. When he gets badged up, he comes with gold clamps and intimidator, and interceptor. You can put a bunch of shooting badges on him, including range. Comes with quick first step downhill as well. 97 speed, just an overall good card. Walt Frazier is just that defensive beast. He's a lot like a Gary Payton card. I don't mind this release. Base 36, it's Earl Monroe, Chandler Parsons, Doug Christie. Some people hate it. I like it. I will say that right now. If you don't like base 36, if you don't like any cards released, trust me, you're not gonna have success with it. So for the people that don't like Walt's release, that's fine. But if you like Walt's release, it's good. He can curry slide. He's got a great behind the back. He's also got half quick first step, half clamps, half hard crusher. Like, insane badges. Half intimidator. He's an elite defense player. And look at his tendencies. 94, 92 for on-ball steal and pass interception. Can shoot. Can get range extender. Has really good speed. And look at the defense, man. Everything except block is fantastic. He's one of the best defensive guards in the game. I'm telling you, this is a card that has slept, or has been, well, it's gone under radar. He's definitely overpriced. The last time I checked, he was at like 300k. He's definitely more, maybe he's gone cheap because Wilt's just kind of been outclassed, but these guys are very, very comparable. Well, they're not comparable because they're completely different cards, but you can definitely argue one or the other. But again, there are other players. You can obviously argue Magic Johnson. You can argue Stockton. I don't think you can argue D-Will anymore. You can argue you can argue, if you're on next gen, it's a weird one saying this, but you can actually argue the 5'9" Isaiah Thomas, because this dude on next gen, man, he gets like, you give him a dunk shoe and a coach, or even just someone else on the floor with floor general, because he doesn't have, so he's got Hall of Fame, someone else with Hall of Fame floor general, and the guy is just a god. The guy is a god once he gets his contacts. So then we're on to the 2 guard position, and number 1 is Kobe Bryant. Kobe Bryant is here, and I'm gonna have to give a number 2 is J.R. Smith. Literally, give me J.R. Smith over Kobe. I'm better with J.R. than Kobe. But I do have to take into account that I hate playing Kobe more than I hate playing J.R. Smith. If you were asking me who I would rather use, I would rather use J.R. Smith. If you are asking me who I would rather my opponent use, it's Kobe. I know most people will say Kobe. Levine is another one that is in that conversation, and so is Rudy Fernandez. I think Levine on offense Levine's another one. I think J.R., the more I use it, the more I think J.R. is slightly better than Levine. And also, Levine is in that category as well. Kobe, Levine, J.R., depending on who the player is, you can have any of them. But I will say this. I think the vast majority of people will say Kobe's number 1, so that's why Kobe's there. Because I think you can debate either way. For me, anyway, I'd probably have most success with J.R., then with Levine, and then after Levine, I probably would have most success with Kobe. These are the way I play the game. But for most people, I'll have Kobe. So I'm going to put Kobe here and J.R. Smith here. However, there's a new challenger. Here's a new challenger that I gotta talk about for a minute. Rudy Fernandez. Like, this dude here, he's way closer to a Zach LaVine than he is to an Eddie Jones. 6'6", 6'10" wingspan, juiced up tendencies, 100 driving dunk tendency, pro 3 behind the back, best top 7 in the game, Showtime dunk, Steph Curry release, the J.R. Smith fadeaway, 97 dunk, 89 lateral quickness, basically all the defensive badges you need except Intimidator, gold, half quick first step, gold range extender, gold hot zone hunter. He's got all the gold badges you need except Deadeye. This guy is ridiculous. He is ridiculous. So you got to mention him in the conversation. But I still think J.R. Smith is that little bit better. I still think J.R. is that little bit better with that half range. That half range extender, half Showtime, as well as half Showtime dunks, great release. He's got Pro 3 as well. I think they're very, very comparable cards. But I do think that the half range extender is what puts J.R. Smith slightly ahead of Rudy Fernandez. Although I think in everything else, they're very similar. I did this exact same fade. They have very similar dribble sigs. Obviously, I think the releases are very even because I love J.R. Smith's release. The exact same length. I just think J.R. is that little bit better than him. And that's one of the things with Rudy Fernandez. Like, he's just, in my opinion, yes, he's faster, but I don't know. I just think J.R. is a little bit better version of him. However, you can argue either or. But then I think Kobe, in general, he's just, his defense is what separates him. And it's why I hate playing against him. So he's got that 93 speed. He's got 95 lateral quickness, 86 steal, Hall of Fame clamps. And like, he's got a 95 on-ball steal tendency. So this is not Opal Kobe from NBA 2K20. This is not the horrendous Opal Kobe on defense. This guy's actually going to play defense. It's not like Opal Kobe where he refused to guard anybody because of the way the game was, and the AI went, basically when you're off ball with Kobe, he wouldn't get in a lane, he would just back off. This card is not it. 93 speed, 92 3-pointer, 95 driving dunk. The dude's got everything. Like, he's really, really good. Kobe base, I love it on next gen, don't love it on current gen, but it's still decent. Great behind the back. Great behind the back Pro 1. It's an overall fantastic, fantastic card. Now we're on to the small forward position, and it's a little bit easier when we're talking about the small forwards. The obvious number 1, in my opinion, is the new Jimmy Butler that came out, and then number 2 is Paul George. And I don't think there are any players particularly close. If we're looking here at the small forward position, I don't think you can compare. Like, you can compare Rick Barry to those guys, but he's a token reward. I don't think you can compare a Gervin to a George. I don't think you can compare a Dr. J, a Kevin Durant. I don't even think that compares that much to Paul George. I think Paul George is that next level, and so is Jimmy Butler. Like, you can definitely argue Jimmy over PG, or you can argue Cam Reddish in here. But I'm going to say PG. Because like, PG's got that half Showtime. He's got that gold clamps, Heart Crusher gold, Interceptor gold. If we're on next gen, one of the best releases in the game. 94 lateral quickness, 94 perimeter defense, 95 pass perception, 90 steal, 90 driving dunk. He's got 90 ball handle as well, which is really good. 50 intangibles. Guy's got not the greatest escape. Normal 2 is not good at all. But he has got Pro 5 behind the back. His leaner is insane. He got the normal leaner. Got great length, 6'9", 6'11 wingspan. Just overall fantastic card. Man, I'm giving the edge to Jimmy. Jimmy Butler, base 22 on quick is so nice, especially on current gen. He's got the Curry slide. He's got the Pro 1 behind the back, which is really nice. And then especially on next gen, Pro 1's one of the best, whereas Pro 5 is borderline worthless on next gen. He's got half catch and shoot. He's got half flexible, half range extender, half downhill, half quick first step, half intimidator, off-ball pest, pick target, target defender, gold clamps. And like, if you're looking at tendencies, 85, 90, 95 shot contest, 80 block, like, they're insane. Also got 93 ball, 92 speed, 96 lateral quickness, 90 driving dunk, 90 speed. He's got everything, like 30 intangibles as well. The guy has got absolutely everything you need. Do I think he's worth anything over like 150, 200k? No, I don't even believe Paul George is worth that. I paid the premium for Paul George because he was the 2K15 throwback card. But you gotta say, this Jimmy, I think, has the slight edge, especially because that Jimmy can play it. I was about to say because that Jimmy can play it too, but there's so many good 2 guards. I'm going to give the slight edge to Jimmy, but if you want to argue Paul George over Jimmy, I'm fine with that. Power forward position. Number 1 is the most clear and obvious choice. It's Chris Webber. He really is the best. And at number 2, I'm going Larry Bird. So there are a few you can put in the conversation for power forward position. I don't think anyone can argue anyone but Webber. Although Antoine Jameson, I know he's a freak. He's not a reward card, but man, Antoine Jameson's a beast. But like, you're looking at the rest of these guys. I'm not even going to put Dan Issel in the conversation because you need original owner cards. You got Jason Tatum. Anthony Davis is pretty good. Zion Williamson is probably the closest. But I'm taking Larry over Zion. Especially because I am a next gen player more than anything. Like, I play next gen more than I play current gen. And Larry Bird on next gen, the guy just fades from everywhere. Like, he's got half difficult shots, half range extender. He's got half steady as well, which becomes half blinders on next gen. Yes, half steady isn't a great badge to have, but you'd rather have steady on Hall of Fame than any other. I'm telling you, you'd rather have half steady than silver steady. There's a lot of guys with silver steady. He's got gold clamps, gold hard crusher, gold intimidator. Also got pretty good speed of 85. Got insane lateral quickness of 94, as well as really good length, 6'9", 7 foot wingspan. Unbelievable 3-ball. Moderately okay driving dunk. Good ball handle. Dribble sigs are really good. And then Larry Bird release is good. And he also gets Showtime dunks. And let's not forget that. He may not have the Showtime badge, but you can put it on him and he gets Showtime dunks. So the guy is... The guy's elite. Like, the guy is absolutely elite. But he's got nothing on badged up Webber. He has got nothing on badged up Chris Webber. Chris Webber is just different, man. He is just different. 94 3-ball, 87 speed, 87 acceleration. He's got 83 lateral quickness, but look, 95 driving dunk, insane post game. He comes with goal quick first step, goal clamps. He comes with half intimidator, rebound chaser, warm box, and you can put range extender on him. But like, as a center, the guy's got 86 ball handle. He's got Kemba base, Rudy upper, Pro 2 behind the back, Pro 4 cross. Unbelievable dunks. Yeah, he doesn't come with Showtime and you have to put Showtime on him. But still, like, Showtime only matters if you are a player that runs the break and dunks a lot, which is not most of us. So, I'm telling you, man, Chris Webber, he's in the conversation for best card in the game. He is in that conversation. Like, that conversation at this stage is like Webber. I think who's even in that conversation. There's Webber, Blake. We're talking next gen Steph. We're talking current gen Wade. We're talking current gen Gary Payton. Either gen Kevin McHale. We're talking next gen Antoine Jameson. Like, he is in that conversation. You can argue him as one of the best cards in the game without question. And also, Badged Up AK has to be up there as well. Badged Up AK is honorable mention. Actually, I'm changing my mind. Larry, you're gone. Badged Up AK, you are coming in here. Well, if you're next gen, it's Larry. If you're current gen, it's AK. Because AK is not it on next gen. Base 98 is not it. That's all I'm going to say. Base 98 is not it. But Pro 4 behind the back. Good dribble 6. Look at this defense, man. Look at his defense. And you give him a range extender. He's on current gen. He's got one of the best releases in the game. He's got half clamps, half intimidator, half alpha pass, half focus. Got basically every defensive badge. The guy is so elite. He is so elite. Then at the center position, number 1, Boogie. Not even close. There's no one even close. Number 2, Wilt. It's an obvious one. It's an obvious one here. So you're looking at these cards. And Dwight's okay. Shaq is a bully on next gen. I will say that much. If you're talking next gen, Shaq is a bully. But man, Wilt eats people alive in this game. Like, I don't particularly like him because of his inability to shoot. Like, he would not be my choice of center. But man, people are saying, oh, Bill Russell's better because he's got hot zones in the corner. No. That's not the thing. The fact that Bill Russell can shoot a little bit better and dribble better than Wilt doesn't matter. Because Wilt Chamberlain's not a point center. Wilt Chamberlain is an 8 foot tall wingspan, gets in every lane, runs the floor better than everybody, has got 95 strength, so he bullies people, has a massive player build, so again, he bullies people for boards. Wilt is a monster. Set shot 17, long athlete, unbelievable dunks. Wilt is just a monster. He's gonna clean up inside, and depending on what you need your centers for, he might be the best in the game at what he does. However, do not lock in for him. Please do not lock in for him. Please do not lock in for Wilt, because he's not that much better than Dwight Howard. Please do not lock in for Wilt. But number 1, Boogie's just better. Boogie's just better, and it's not even close. Like, it's not even close, I don't think, between Boogie and everybody else. Like, 87 3 ball, 85 speed. His defense is more than solid. Great steal. Comes with half interceptor, which is so underrated. 7'5" wingspan. Half catch and shoot, gold range extended. Set shot 8, which is a billion times better than set shot 17. Even if you don't like set shot 8, it's way better. Dribble 6, one of the best normal behind the backs in the game. He's got 83 ball handle. Any coach, well, any floor general player gets him up in ball handle. Comes with goal quick first step. Comes with goal clamps. This guy here is one of the best cards in the game. He's like Blake. He feels like Blake. He's like Blake with a worse release, but bigger. Like, he's incredible. He is absolutely incredible. He's got that wide body. He's got the jumper to an extent. He dunks on everybody. He rebounds. Like, I'm not going to say he's better than Blake, but man, he's close. He's close. And yeah, this lineup right here. There are definitely, in my opinion, the cards that you can grind for. Really, the point guard position is where people excel. Or, well, where those cards excel. Because Steph, Wade, and Baron Davis exist. Dame Lillard exists, who probably better than Baron Davis. But, man, the rest of the positions, like, compare this month to last month. Like, at the start of December, the only cards I'm pretty sure that existed on this list were maybe D Rose and J.R. Smith. That's how many great new cards we've had. And with the batch of cards that we got yesterday, I'm telling you, man, I'm telling you. If you are a person who loves it when 2K juices up all the stats and every player can do everything, which I am, it's going to be a great time. If you're someone who likes not every player doing everything, trust me, lads, it's going to be grim. So anyway, yeah, that's pretty much it. That's the video. Thank you guys for watching. Please like, comment, and subscribe.